Here I have my camera body ready to accept the lens. I've painted the inside of my camera body black. I've cut the 1-inch square hole centered in the lid, and I've made my lens where I've pierced the hole in the center of the lens with the stylus. Now, opening my camera and laying the lid of the camera on the table in front of me, I'll take the lens and a few pieces of masking tape and I'll put the tape onto the lens in this fashion. Now, while I'm putting the tape onto the lens, I'll be careful not to bend the metal since I took all that time to flatten the metal to make sure that my camera will be light safe. Then, looking from the outside of the lid, I need to center the lens the best I can in the square hole that I previously cut, lining up the ends of the X with the corners of the square and making sure that they match as closely as possible. I know that I've centered the lens. Now, you may notice that the box lid is moving. That's just me pressing on the tape so the lens is secure in the center of the opening. With the lens centered, I'll press again on the tape, and then adding 2 more pieces of tape, I'll seal the entire lens tight to the lid, pressing down on the tape, but not rubbing too hard to ensure the seal. Now, with no areas or gaps left that could leak light into my dark chamber, I'm going to use the black paint one last time, covering the tape and some of the metal, being careful to stay away from the aperture I made in the metal lens. All right, here I have the lens made and installed and painted black around the aperture so it won't cause any interference inside our dark chamber. Everything should now be totally light safe or light tight. The next thing I will do is to take a piece of cardstock that has been cut to 5 inches by 7 inches, the same size as the photographic paper we'll be using inside the camera, and then taking another piece of tape, wrapping it around onto itself to make a link shape, something we've all done before, possibly in elementary school, and then flattening it out, I'll press it onto the back of the paper. By pulling on the rolled edges of the tape to move them out as far as they can possibly go, this way both sides of the tape are as close to the paper as they can possibly be. You'll be using the tape this way on both the cardstock and on the photo paper when you load it into the camera. The next thing I need to do is to center the cardstock in the back of the camera as close to the center as I can get it. And then I'm going to use whatever tools are handy to help to move it into place. There we go. Now, putting the lid onto the camera, I only have one more thing to do, and that's to make my camera light safe, totally dark inside, and how I'm going to do that is to use a piece of black electrical tape as a shutter. One end of the tape has been folded over, so it's easy to take the tape off when opening the aperture to take the picture. Lightly press the tape on over the aperture of your lens. By pressing lightly, it'll make it easy to remove, and then it won't push the lens away from the lid when you're done taking the picture.